Hello friends, today I'm back with a magical slider switch card. Today I'm using this little magic bear from My Favorite Things. I stamped this bear on some Copic friendly Nina Solar White ink using my Misty tool as the stamp is new and I wanted a really good impression. And I'm using here different Copic markers to color my bear in. I'm using here my favorite brown color combination to color the bear. I'm going from darkest to the middle, then to the lightest, and then I try to blend everything really well with my lightest color. As this E41 has a lot of colorless blender in it, I really saturated the paper and I didn't want to mix it with the lilac shade, so I heat set it before, and then my Copic colored image were dry, so I could continue without having the risk of getting a really muddy image. I'm using here my favorite lilac shades also. I wanted nothing new. I want to go with the colors I liked. I tried this green shade, but I didn't like it, so I decided to go more for the turquoise color. And the little heart I'm coloring in the same images. I'm using RV00 to make some rosy cheeks for the bunny and for the bear, and then I photocop all the images. I used this dotted double-sided oval die from Studio Katya to use as my card panel, and then I did a little hole in there for my LED to shine through later. Now I'm using here Wilted Violet, Peacock Feathers and Blueprint Sketch Distress ink to create something similar like a night sky background. I wanted this to be appearing a little bit magical and mystic, and yeah, I didn't wanted a plain background. I'm using here this poster tape to prevent my fingers from getting inky, and now I'm using a little bit of water to create some water droplets on the background, but I was using watercolor paper and it blended and it took away the ink too much, so I used a towel to smush it a little bit. I hope this makes sense. I die cut another oval from regular paper because I want this to be the place where I wanted to create my circle. I'm going to create a slider switch, and this wasn't the first idea for this card. I wanted to create first a pull tab, no, a normal switch where you just push there. Then I had the idea to make a slider switch. And now I'm first creating my circuit. I draw in everything so you guys can see what I wanted to do. And now I'm taping down my battery because I didn't want the battery to leave the place. And now I'm taping the copper tape on top of the battery. Normally I would create a little switch, but as the pull tab will be the switch, I can tape the copper tape down. And a little trick for you, just use a little bit of copper tape and tape it over the LED so the contact will stay forever and ever and ever. You never will lose the connection. And now I'm drawing in a little gap we want to cut in there so we can create a little slider switch. And I'm just extending the connection on top there with copper tape, but don't ask me why I did this. For me, it sometimes makes sense. And now we have to create a little star shape with copper tape. I hope you can see it, as this will look like a star, and we will put in the gap, and then we can push it around, and then the connection will close and we have a shining LED. You will see everything later, and I hope you do understand it. Sorry, sometimes I'm out of frame. I'm using my Pullman multi to glue the star shape together, and now I'm taping my Pulltab down and putting the star shape copper tape in between the little gap, and now you see it is working. This piece of paper I'm taping down now is like a stopper, because I didn't want the Pulltab to be very long, as I don't know, but in this case I didn't want this to be very long. And I'm using here some papers to make the panel the same height. For me, it makes sense at this moment. You can try it without, but in this case for me it all makes sense. I guess you can leave this part or skip this part totally and just tape it down, and just make sure that you don't put tape where you want the slider to be. Okay? Yeah. And it was a little bit stopping there because I think there was different heights, or because of the battery, no, because of the LED in this place. I would suggest that there is more place between the battery and the little slider channel and the LED also, so you have more room to have for the slider. And now I'm using here double-sided foam tape, and I'm using here 2 layers, so the battery is as high as the foam tape. I like to use the Tombow Mono Multi Glue to tape my card panel down, so in case I tape it down a little bit wonky, I can fix this. And as always, I like to try and check, and everything is still working. Now I can tape this oval down on the card base, and it is still working. I was so happy when this was working. You can't believe it. And now I'm taping the little bear and the little rabbit down. No, rabbit, no. Bunny. Rabbit? Bunny? I don't know. And I wanted to stack this sentiment in the Pulltab slider, as I didn't know where to put my sentiment. I forgot it. I simply forgot it. Then I remembered I could use my Pulltab. So I decided to cut down the sentiment and stack this on my acrylic block. And I'm using here my VersaFine ink pad and stamping it. Sorry, my head is in the way. And it worked. But in case you want to do it like I did, I would suggest to stamp first, then to put the card together. This gray piece of paper you are seeing, I want to tape on top of my Pulltab, so the recipient can see at the first where to pull. And I'm cutting the Pulltab to the right size, and I rounded the edges from my gray piece of paper, and then I cut the little edges there because I rounded the edges from the gray piece of paper so everything is fitting. And I'm using here the pull sentiment from my favorite things as well, so the recipient can see where to pull. And then I decided I want the Abracadabra sentiment in front of the card because I wanted this card to look like Abracadabra. And then you pull on the pull tab and then you see have a magical day and the wand is shining. I hope it makes sense for you. In my opinion, it makes a lot of sense. And now I tape the sentiment down and the Pulltab is working, the wand is shining, and I'm using here some stars from Lucy's Little Things. They are iridescent and from different mixes, I don't know, but now the card is all finished. And I hope you liked this card idea as much as I did. I really loved how it turned out because it wasn't like I planned it first. Here you can see some more projects I created with my favorite things and Chibitronics, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye!